Welcome back. I'm Teresa Harding, and this video today that we're doing is close to my heart because I know what it's like to feel broken, and I know that it affects many of you out there. In fact, I know it affects all of you out there, but some of you are experiencing that feeling right now, and some of you are not in the midst of it. But we are going to discuss the struggles that so many people face, what it feels like to be broken, and how we can overcome these feelings to truly embrace our value and the hope for the future. Because sometimes it's just it feels hopeless. Sometimes you don't. It's difficult to even have hope. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and let's dive right in. It is a reality. And it's really sad that countless people around the world face daily struggles. They feel broken, and sometimes they're losing hope. Let's take a look at some statistics that help illustrate this. According to a report from the World Health Organization, over 300 million people worldwide suffer from depression. And a lot of people have feelings of hopelessness as a result. And in the United States alone, there was a survey conducted by the National Institute of Mental Health. They found that nearly 20% of adults experienced some form of mental illness in the past year. And the World Health Organization also estimates that close to 800,000 people die by suicide every single year. This is a tragedy. And it is a testament to the feelings of hopelessness that so many people experience. And it is not okay. We have got to start finding solutions to this challenge. And it begins with me and with you. And that's why I'm doing this video. Because these numbers, they're not just numbers. They represent the lives of real people who are struggling every day. And it's important for us to recognize that. So when you are feeling broken and alone, it can be so easy to get trapped in a cycle of self-blame and despair. And it is crucial to remember that you are not alone in your struggle. It feels so alone, but you are not alone. And I will tell you that this is Satan's number one tool, to make you think that you are alone and that you are not worth it. There are people out there who genuinely want to help you. Friends, family, support groups, and even online communities like the one we have right here on this channel. The first steps toward healing is to reach out and to share your story. Remember that you do not have to face these challenges alone. And there are people who are ready to listen. They want to listen, and they want to be there for you. So now it's time for a little bit of tough love. Because it is essential that you stop believing the lies that you have no value or that there is no hope. These are lies. They're stories. And you might think, well, then what story should I tell myself? Make it up. You're making this one up. If I say I'm going to fall down the stairs, it's a lie. I made it up. But if I say I am not going to fall down the stairs, that's a lie too. I just made it up. So for you to tell yourself these stories that you're telling yourself, you made it up. Every story you say is a made up story. So just change it to a different story. What story do you want it to be? Start making it that story. I am going to be successful. I am going to find a way to find value in me. Maybe it's that you need to just figure out one thing that you are contributing to other people. Because you are. I know you are. And how do I know this? Because I have worked with so many people around the world. I've taught hundreds of thousands or more, and I have worked individually and looked in people's eyes. And I have talked with them and worked them through some of these same challenges. And always, always, there is value. Always, there is something powerful that you were meant to contribute. And this story that you're telling yourself is exactly what is stopping you from living the life that allows you to contribute what you were meant to contribute and to receive from this world and this life what you were meant to receive. You have the power to change your story. You are not defined by your past, and you can create a life that you are so proud to live. It is time for you to recognize your worth and start believing in yourself. I want to go through 5 things that might be contributing to your feelings of brokenness and how you can stop doing them right now. Number one, comparing yourself to others. It is so natural to compare ourselves to others. Why? Because this is actually a strength to be able to compare against two things. Otherwise, we would never be able to say, okay, this is a goal that I want, this is where I am, and now I can see the difference. We have to be able to see the difference. And so it's a beautiful thing about human nature that we're able to compare and say, oh, wow, I like that color better than that color. Or, oh, wow, I like that girl's makeup. I want to try to do it that way. But the problem happens when we compare ourselves to others and then we choose to tell ourselves the story, whether it's a negative or a positive thing. It's not a negative or a positive, it just is. And now you can decide what you like, what you want to do about it. But so it's natural, but it can lead to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. So instead, what I want you to do is I want you to focus your journey on growth and celebrate your achievements. So when you see something you like, or by the way, on social media, you might see something that you think you like, but you don't really even know the whole story. But let's say it is what you think it is. Wow, I like that boat. I would like to own a boat. What can I do about that? They have just shown me that it is possible. That's the only thing that should matter. Wow, now I know it's possible. It's just like when the very first time the 4-minute mile was broken. Before that 4-minute mile was ever broken, do you know that doctors and scientists and medical professionals absolutely stated that if a body ran a 4-minute mile or faster, it would actually explode and the person would die. That's what they believed. That was the story. But then as soon as somebody ran the 4-minute mile, guess how soon after that the next person ran the 4-minute mile? Within days. That's how quickly things change when you start to change the story that you're telling yourself. The second thing is surrounding yourself with negativity. It might just be you. You're working home alone and you're negative. It might just be you. It might be that you have an environment of people that surround you who have a significant impact on you and they're negative. Well, I'll just tell you this. Anybody, any group of people that you are going to be around is going to have a significant impact on your mental well-being. So cut ties with toxic relationships and seek out positive relationships and influences in your life. Now, some of you are already, I know, I can hear you because I've talked to so many of you. I know what you're thinking. Well, I can't because it's my mom. Well, yeah, but it's this relationship. Stop making excuses. You want to know what? Start setting boundaries. Set one small boundary that you can commit to. I am not going to go, I see my mom 5 days a week and she is toxic and really unhealthy. She puts me down all the time. Hopefully that's not your situation, but we all have had people in our lives who are not uplifting. I'm using a mother as an example because that can be the hardest one. So you might decide, okay, instead of going to see her 6 days a week, I'm not going to go there on Saturdays anymore. You might have to start small. If you can set healthy boundaries and say, what I would hope you could do is if you're in the presence of someone who starts being toxic, you say, you know what, I love you so much, but I've really got to go because this is not healthy for me. So second best, this is what some people will do. They say, oh, I've really got to go because I have something else. But guess what? You're lying because you're avoiding and you won't face the fact, you won't take responsibility for setting a healthy boundary. So that's better than nothing, but I'd rather have you setting a really healthy boundary. Okay, the third thing is neglecting self-care. It is so easy to feel like there's so much to do. I can't get it all done. My kids need me. Everybody needs me. Just because you are needed does not mean you are obligated. You will always be needed. This was a lesson that I had to learn. It was really hard because I had been building my business and I was the top in my company and people wanted to learn from me and I wanted to help. I wanted to be the person that was willing to help them in their rise up. And so I was in high demand. People wanted me to train all over the world. And I didn't want to say no. And I felt like I'm a confident person. I had no problem saying no, I thought. But the real challenge was I loved doing it. And so instead of realizing the opportunity cost and going, if I don't say no just because I'm excited, I might love to do it, But there is a cost. I'm not taking care of myself. And I finally came to the realization that I was telling myself a lie. And it was hard for me to catch it and to realize what it was, because I believe everything is possible. I think so big, and I just know everything is possible. So I didn't think I was having limiting beliefs, but I finally realized this was my limiting belief. I don't believe that I can achieve everything I want to achieve and go 100 miles an hour and do the exciting things I want to do and take care of myself. I did not believe the two things were possible. And once I gave my mind permission to believe that it was possible and I wouldn't take no for an answer, all of a sudden my mind started figuring out ways to be so much more efficient in my business that I get more done in my business. I get my trainings out to more people, and I have way more free time. How do you explain that? Because our brain is a powerful tool, and the stories we tell it, it will believe, and it will take it, and it will run with it. So I want you to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Eat well. Take time to exercise. Practice self-compassion. Practice self-compassion. I use that word on purpose because we can say, oh, have compassion for yourself. No, you need to practice. A lot of times it's really hard. We can have compassion for other people, but then we don't do that for ourselves. The fourth thing is focusing on the past. Dwelling on past mistakes or regrets that you can't seem to leave behind. You feel trapped. You feel broken. There's a reason we get to the place where we feel broken. Just learn from those experiences, but don't let them define you. Focus on the present and what you can do to create a better future. That is the focus. It doesn't mean you don't recognize what happened. It doesn't mean you don't learn from it. There's a reason that on cars, look how much cars have changed since the Model A. They have changed so significantly. We have electric cars, for heaven's sake. But guess one thing that has hardly changed at all on a car? The rear view mirror. It's because we don't want to focus on the past. You take a quick glance and you need to check it, that it helps you to be safe, to be aware and recognize what happened and the lessons you learned from it. But now don't dwell on it. Don't focus on it. Focus on the present and what you can do to create a better future. And number 5, it is a tragedy when you ignore your passions. Pursue your interests and your passions. It can be such a powerful way to reclaim who you are, your sense of self-worth, your sense of identity. It is a powerful thing, and you have something creative inside of you that might not be artsy creative, but it is something that you were meant to contribute, and most of you already know what it is. Some of you are afraid to admit it. So what I want for you is I want you to be able to embrace hope. I want you to be able to step into a new life. It is time to stop believing the old lies and the old stories that have held you back for way too long. It's time to step into your life and start hoping. I want you to start dreaming again, because I don't want you to just think different. I want you to be different. And I want you to join me in my next Momentum Monday video, because we are going to be talking about ways to reclaim your hope, exactly what you can do to embrace this life that you deserve, the journey that you have been stuck outside of. I'm going to show you how to do that. So join me in the next video.